Okay, hi guys. Hey everybody at home. Can everybody at home hear me? Let me just double check with sure. Yep, awesome. Hi guys. So welcome everybody. We've got some new people here tonight, so I just want to say welcome. If at any point you need to use the restroom, let me just point it out. Underneath the deck, through the house, through those sliding glass doors to the left. That's where the bathroom is. There's cookies and drinks back there if you need to get some of those. Help yourself, please. We're gonna have some fun tonight. So a couple just quick announcements. Number one, we just had an incredible event. The Run for Recovery was amazing. We've been planning it for how many months now? And y'all outdid yourselves. It was amazing. Were you there? Woo woo! Yes. 50-50. It was amazing. It's numbers are still coming in. We do, like in June, we'll do a, people are still rolling in here on Zoom. There you go. Remind me, 551 registrants, which to give you perspective, last year it was 332, or yeah, 37. So woo-hoo to that, so that's a significant increase. That was fun. We had like all the awesome booths, it was just so colorful. We had the awesome stage, the awesome balloons, we had all the things. We had the KBI was our media sponsor. They've already signed up for next year. They're already yeah, they're like, can we please do it again next year? We're like, well, okay. We will not say no to that. That was fun. And then we had more sponsors than ever. Do you remember how many?
Over 22.
Over 22.
Because we just got one more. So
that's right. L&D.
Yeah, L&D. I think 24 is my guess. Forgive me because I can't remember after it kept adding.
Which I want to say last year was like 13. So
yeah.
that's right. That's right. That's because of all of you. We did hit our goal. Our goal going into this event was raising $50,000 for treatment and scholarship funds. That goes directly to local families for treatment and scholarship funds. And we have a scholarship board that gets, you know, that weighs in and you know, all that kind of stuff. So, but we might have done more. We're not sure yet. So, because there's a couple pledges that are still kind of open. So we might have done a little bit more than that. So, hang tight, probably all the numbers to these kinds of things always come in at the end of the month when the accountants do their thing. We let our official accountants do all the stuff, you know, and then all the invoices. So about mid-June-ish, you will have an official, like a newsletter, kind of a recap of all that will come out. But we for sure hit our goal, for sure. And I do think we might have gone over by $5,000-ish, which would be really super. So thank you to all of you. It's because of all of you. My gosh, thank you for getting out there, hanging posters, getting the word out in the community, talking to your, you know, like your boss. You know, organizations have funds that they give to organizations. Even if it's like $500, it adds up. Even if it's $100 from a small little company, it all adds up. So thank you all, and then the big ones that came in. So thank you for all the work y'all have done to help make that happen. So pretty cool. So mark your calendar for next year. 2026 is May 9th, which happens to be Tiffany's birthday. So y'all got a dinner next year. But it's always Mother's Day weekend. So we always, is it our 7th one next year? Or is it our 8th? Was this our 7th? It is our 7th next year. We always do it on Mother's Day weekend. It's always the Saturday, so you can kind of learn to
bring your mom.
It's fitting. That's we did that on purpose. Is Mother's Day weekend? It's a perfect way to celebrate moms. You know, no matter what side of the battle we're on, it's the perfect way to celebrate Mother's Day weekend. It's by having this walk. So, anyways, so that's that. Tomorrow is the mob. Mob is Moms of Battlefield. All the ladies, whether you're a mom, a grandma, an aunt, ladies are invited to join us. So the mob is every Wednesday following a solution group. So we keep the same schedule as solution groups. So solution groups are the first and the third Tuesday of the month. The mob follows. And that's just a 1 hour coffee date, basically. We all hop on Zoom together. We have 1 hour together where we get to know each other more. We talk about the topic from the night before. If there are new people on, then we get to know them, which is really fun, and introduce each other. And it's just a really great way for us to all get connected and stay connected. Even if you could just pop on here and there, because maybe you work during, you know, that time, you're welcome to pop in once a month or here and there, or join us every week, like the whole group does. So you're invited to join us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. If you need the Zoom link, you can reach out to me or Becky to get that. It's the same link every week, separate from the solution group link, but it's the same every week. Coming up, every quarter we do an in-person mob. And it's the first Wednesday every quarter. So like it was March, the first Wednesday of March, the first Wednesday of June, the first Wednesday of September. So June 4th is our in-person mob, and it is switching up to 6 p.m. that particular one. Yes, so I'm very happy because we usually do it at 11 a.m. and we enjoy spending our afternoon together, but we had a couple requests of people who just can't request that time off work. So I said, okay, we'll in June, we'll do a 6 p.m. So that's gonna be at our house in Auburn. I'll be posting the details on that. You can reach out to me for the details as well. I hope you all can join us. And anything else? Yeah.
There are some lost and found items
From Run for Recovery, great.
and they're right over here in the corner. A sweatshirt, couple t-shirts, a water bottle, a couple things. So if anybody's missed something, please let us know. And then we have some gear here available today. I don't know if you noticed that there's some hanging up, but we also have more in the bins. And it's just kind of odds and ends of gear that we've had for a while, so it's available at a discount. So you want to clear that, stick around, we'll go through the bins.
Yeah. Make room for some new stuff.
We're gonna make room for new stuff.
Did y'all like the green one? Where's Max? Max is carrying this. Oh yeah, well, I mean, actually that hoodie, that special exclusive hoodie was sharp. He's looking real sharp in it. But we're making room for new, so help us get rid of
Max, it could look like anything.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. He looks good and everything. But that is so sharp, that sweatshirt. So we got the team that's creating new stuff. Oh, he is back there. He was just hiding. It's really sharp. Let's see, I think that, next Tuesday, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we have group coaching. We have not had a group coaching in like way too long. It's something that we generally do about once a month. But we were in Ukraine and all these things going on, so it's been a little bit. Group coaching is actually a favorite. It is actually a private group. It's usually, a dozen or so people, and it's a small focus group. And group coaching is really powerful, and you actually get one-on-one coaching. And it's really powerful because like you're getting coached on whatever you're going through, and you're observing another couple be coached. And it's like you learn more even seeing these other couples in the room because you relate to everybody. So it's pretty cool. It's a top favorite. I think a lot of people will agree. You're all parents, this is parents only, and you're invited. We still have some spots for tomorrow night, so talk to me if you want to get in on that. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, it starts at 6, so not to be confused with our typical 7 o'clock start time. So 6 o'clock, it's actually, sometimes it's here, but we're gonna switch it up and I'll send you my address. We're gonna have it here. It's not, we're gonna switch it to our house. So I haven't, that's news to everybody.
Okay.
News, flash, I will send you the address. We're gonna do it at our house instead. And have a little intimate, awesome thing tomorrow night. It's gonna be really cool. So, and then last thing is next Tuesday night, we're having a special night. It is in the spotlight, Battlefield Spotlights. I already forgot the name, business leaders. I had to look up the name, what we decided we were.
Next week is Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds owns Anthem Coffee, founder of Anthem Coffee. If you ever know Anthem Coffee, Palo up in Tacoma, and it's part of a kind of a series that we're doing, and it's in order to actually for the people in the program. It's to connect the people in the program with business leaders and to bring in mentors and people like Brian. There's Brian up there on the TV. I mean, just real great energy. He wants to be part of the community. He wants to help out the guys in the program. And what I talked to Brian about, and when I brought him on, what it was about was creating pathways for the guys in the program to go from, like I said, I don't think that everyone deserves to get $120,000 a year, but a guy coming, or $200,000 a year, but a guy coming into recovery, 30 years old, kind of been doing drugs for the last 10 years. I'm not asking these leaders in business to come in and give them jobs that are making. I'm saying come in and let's start lighting up some pathways from if a guy does the right thing for a couple of years, he can get to $120,000 a year. He can get to a $200,000 job. So I'm just trying to create pathways for these guys that says, hey, if I know this guy and I do what he tells me for the next, so long, I could see a pathway through to a better life. And so that's my mission in bringing in business leaders to say, hey, let's teach these guys to be entrepreneurs. Let's teach these guys to put a business idea in play. Let's teach them how to get in the game, and let's get creative here. So that's the purpose of bringing in these leaders like Brian Reynolds. So, and then his mission will bring to get my next guest. So we'll just continue it from there.
Awesome. If you want a reminder on phones, let's just make sure all our phones are off. Real quick, and then we'll get going.
For those of you that are new and just, I see some people that are new and you don't know me. It's kind of weird sometimes just thinking that there's this guy up here talking. My qualifications are 17 years in active addiction, leading to being homeless, leading to living in my car or whatever it was for temporary times, and then going on 15 years in recovery now, 15 years of actually helping folks out. But that's just not in that process of running sober living and buying a treatment center and having a state treatment center and working for treatment centers. What happened was you start studying all angles of this thing. For me, it was. So for me, it was about when I got sober in 2011, it was about taking a look at all angles about how I got. How did I end up here? How did I end up in this predicament of like destruction of my life and the people around me? And how did I end up in this puddle of liquid that was just nothing? Just, I didn't have any ground to stand on. I didn't have anything. I was just empty. And that's what it was. I was just laying there flat. And that was bottom for me. It was just this place where I ended up. And then when I started climbing out of that place, I wanted to figure out for me how I got there. What happened here? Well, how does a man at 37 years old have no friends, no allies, no resources? How have I depleted everything to the extent that I depleted everything? And how did I end up here? And I never want to end up here again. I always said I never want to end up back at that table. And somebody would act like, I told my sister, I said, I don't want to end up back at the table. And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, you know that table where like up here, there's someone judging me for my behavior. And I sit down at the table and I go, I'm sorry, I don't want to behave this way anymore. And I have to kind of look up and answer for my behavior. And I said, I never want to look at another man and have to answer for my behavior again. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to stand for something. I'm going to have to start looking at what it is that led me to this predicament. And so I dived into everything, whether it was AA, whether it was mindfulness books, whether it was church, whether it was Landmark Forum, or whether it was Eckhart Tolle. And I went to everything you can go to. So I've been to Eckhart Tolle retreats for week-long retreats. I've done the Landmark Forum. I've done the Landmark Forum advanced course. I've done the steps 4 times over, and I just delve into whatever you could teach me, whatever I could learn. I was hungry to learn. And along that process, I developed something where you learn, do, teach. And so that's what I started doing. I started learning, doing, teaching, but I didn't want to just teach. I wanted to learn and do, and then I could teach. And then I would go back to learning something else, and then I would do, and then I would learn, do, teach, learn, do, teach. And that's became the process. And then along the way, Angie used to call me a teacher, and I'd always shy away from that and say, no, I'm not a teacher. I don't like really that label. But I've gotten to the place now where it's okay. Yeah, I'm a teacher because I've learned and I've done, and now I teach. And one of the things that they say, and I remember there was this thing that came out in about 2014. It was a guy named Johan Uri, and he wrote a book called Chasing the Scream. And in the caption on his YouTube video where he did the TED Talk describing the book Chasing the Scream, it said, everything you've ever known about addiction is wrong. And I remember reading that and going, this is 2014. Now I've already studied for 3 years. And I said, everything I've known is wrong. Plus I did drugs for 17. I was like, well, that can't be wrong. I know a lot about that shit. Everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. And he was the one that said they studied rats. And they've learned all this stuff about rats and how if they gave rats, they put them in Rat Park. And if there was no other rats in Rat Park and they put cocaine in the water, the rats would overdose on the cocaine. But if you put rats in the Rat Park and
Hi.
the rats wouldn't do
I have a
the...
question. I got a message today that appointment notification
if you put the rats in the other side of the park and that there was a lot of other rats and they could put cocaine, but none of the rats would do the rat. Well, the whole point of the thing was the opposite of addiction was about connection. That was the whole point of the thing. And you know, I found that to be kind of true, but not in the sense that they say. So you see, so like the way they say the opposite of addiction is connection is that somehow these guys in the back of the room that have been in addiction somehow didn't get the connection that everybody else in the world got. Somehow they've been victimized and they didn't get connected with. And that's why they're all addicts. And now what we need to do as humans is we've got to all go out and connect with the addicts. But see, I found that to be not true. I found that it was on me. In 2011, the opposite of my addiction was connection, but it wasn't on anyone else to connect with me. It was on me to figure out how I would connect back with my family. It was on me to figure out how I would repair the damage that I'd done. It was on me to figure out how I connect with this world that I was kind of so disgruntled with, that I was so like kind of resentful of. I would have to figure out how I get rid of my anger so I could connect with this thing. And along the way, what I figured out was this thing is about relationships. And then I started looking, I was like, what does a relationship even mean to me? When I got sober, I started looking about year 6. I started looking to see what relationship meant to me. And I went back and I can kind of do an evolution of relationship. You know, it started out when I was a kid, a relationship was like attachment. I needed something from the grownups or whatever. So you start out with that kind of relationship. And then all of a sudden you go to school and it starts out as a friendship. And you have these relationships that you'll never have again when you have a friendship in elementary school. When you have a friendship in elementary school, there's 100% loyalty. Like, it's like, wow, man, this is my friend. And it means I'll go to bat for him. And I had those kind of friendships. They were just these things that I didn't care about my friends' faults. I didn't care about their misdoings or whatever it was. I actually just had this friend and it meant he's my friend. And it meant I'll do anything for you and you'll do anything for me. And we don't hate each other. And that's what it meant. And then along the way, things start get difficult because you got to like go to junior high and you got to start fitting in. So then all of a sudden relations started being a ladder for me. Relationships were a way for me to climb the ladder. I was in 7th grade and I needed to know that guy in 9th grade because if I know that guy in 9th grade, then everyone will think I'm cool. And if I hang out with the 9th graders and he gets invited to the party, then I'll get invited to the party. And then I forgot about my loyalty friends and I started like trying to climb the ladders in friendship. And I wanted to be in relationship with the cool people. I wanted to be in the relationship with the people that got me something. So relationships then became transactional. Then I got into drugs. And when I got into drugs, relationships really became transactional. It became, what can you do for me? What am I going to do for you? How are we going to survive? I brought the drugs. This time, you better have my back. Next time, became about defending each other in that action, became about loyalty and crime and can't snitch on me and I won't snitch on you. And so what I really learned in all that drug use was, yeah, my relationships don't have no connection. My relationships are kind of messed up, man. I got messed up relationships. They're all screwed up. The relationship with my family was just me lying and cheating and stealing and damaging them. And so I was dominated by that because I was always at the table with my family looking up like, please forgive me for my bad behavior. And I was asking for forgiveness and crying. I would only cry because I got caught. You know, I've screwed up everything and now I'm going to cry to show that I'm remorseful. And so then I got sober. And as I got sober and I said, I want to connect with people, I started really delving into what a relationship is. And I started to look at it. And what I figured out about what a relationship is that it's space. You see, a relationship is not you and it's not me. What a relationship is the space between me and the space between you. It's this space right here. And we relate to this space. So I started looking at what was going on with this space. What's happening in this space? Is there resentment? Is there anger? Is there lies? Is there things that we need to clear up? And what I started becoming was kind of this expert at looking at the space and taking responsibility for what was in it and kind of clearing up this space. And I became good at of keeping the space clean. Me and you, we got a problem right now. We need to talk and we need to clear this space. We need to keep this space clean. We need to get caught up, because if I'm not caught up with what's in this space and I'm not keeping it clean, I can't focus on my life. I can't focus because I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about what was going on between us, and it's occupying my mind, and my mind's not free. So I started learning how to clear space in relationships. Then I started saying, okay, man, to clear space, something's gotta happen here. Like, they say responsibility. People say like this, they go, I pay my bills, I'm responsible. No, you pay your bills, you get cable. Paying your bills has zero to do with responsibility. That don't mean shit. It's like the lowest fundamental level of responsibility that one can have, to say, I pay my bills, I'm responsible. You pay your bills, so you're responsible? That is ridiculous. And we've now established that a responsible person pays their bills. And that's what we're calling somebody that's responsible, because they keep up on their car payment that they said they would, because they pay their mortgage on time. You're a responsible person. What about being responsible for what's in this space? What about being responsible for your relationships? You see, I thought when I got sober, for a while, I thought relationships were like an audition. I thought people were auditioning to stay in my life. So relationships was me like this, watching everyone's behavior. We'll see if you cut the mustard. We'll see how you behave. Pretty soon, I'm going to figure out why you didn't make it. And that's how I thought everybody was doing. They were trying to be in a relationship with me. And in order to be in a relationship with me, you got to fucking act right. And I'm going to sit there and judge you. And then when I found out your mistake and I found out why you didn't act right, I cut the relationship off. I said, you did me wrong. We're done. You see, a relationship is space. So we have all this space. But what I see human beings doing, and what I used to do, was I would start limiting usable space. So what is this space for? Well, guess what? What I figured out in being responsible for this space, in being responsible for the relationship, what I figured out a relationship really was a way for me to show who I am. So this space is a way and an opportunity or an opening for me to express myself. So I need more space in order to do that. So in order to do that, I have to stay in these relationships to show who I am. But I see people not using the space, saying, you know what? I'm not going to use this space. And they start limiting usable space, and they start isolating. They start becoming a person with less and less relationships because people did them wrong, because people didn't do the right thing that they wanted them to do, because the audition failed. So they start saying, oh, you're out, you're out, you're out. And the reality is, to be a responsible human being, I don't blame anyone for what's in that space anymore. See, that space is there for me. It's there for me to show who I am. And if you hurt me and if you do something wrong, that's the opportunity for me to show who I am. Now, if I say that's no longer usable space because you hurt me or you hit my insecurities, I don't have an opportunity to show who I am. So as people get older, their life gets smaller. They go older and their relationships get smaller. See, I got a new son now, a brand new son. The space between me and my son is for me to express myself as a father. That's what it's for. It's for me to express who I am as a father. And I get that space, and it doesn't matter what that kid does. I don't shut down. It don't matter what he does. I don't turn my head the other direction. It don't matter what he does. I keep expressing myself as a father, and I never quit. And I've learned that through this is what it means to be in these relationships. See, what it really means is this: when you decide that what you really want out of life is that you want to get rid of your insecurities and you want to face your own pain. When you want to face your own pain, you won't start getting rid of usable space, because difficult relationships are the only way that we get to face our own pain. But what we do as human beings is we start reducing usable space because we don't want to face our own pain, because that person doesn't say everything that I want them to say, because that person doesn't agree with everything I agree with. That person doesn't tell me I'm great all the time. They criticize me, or they do this, or they whatever. And the thing is, okay, so now I need all the usable space I can get. I need to use it to express who I am and to get rid of my pain. So now, if me and Josh get along perfectly all the time, That's a great relationship. That's fine. It doesn't provide usable space for me to figure out who I am, though. It doesn't provide usable space for me to figure out how I deal with these insecurities. You see, the difficult relationships do. The ones that I'm texting people right now and having to handle my pain, and they're telling me how bad I am and how wrong I am. Those are the ones that I grow from. Those are the ones that I have to be responsible for. You see, who's the bigger party? When in your relationships, are you the bigger party? Or are you the blaming party? Are you the one waiting for the other person to audition correctly? Or are you the one with boundaries? You see, I want to be used up. I don't have any boundaries. I have pain that you hit. And when you hit this pain, I take it. That don't mean I got to turn the other direction. That don't mean I got to run from you. That don't mean I got to reduce usable space. It means you showed me my pain. And I can either take it and I can stay. See, at the end of this thing, I want to just be a bag of bones laying there. I want to be used up. I don't want to protect myself. I don't want to protect myself because somebody doesn't say the right things to me. I don't want to protect myself because somebody's life keeps repeating a negative pattern. And I think that I have to stop being in a relationship with them because their life repeats a negative pattern and it's all about me, because it's not. It's about me taking that pain and standing next to the fire of a human being that's on fire and being able to stay there with them and use that space to show who I am, to not turn away, to be able to say, I'm responsible for this space. You see, with our kids, there's a point where parents even do this, where you know if you want your kid to get better, you know you need to get better. There's a point you do that as a parent, and then there's a point we stop. You see? There's a point we say, okay, my kid didn't brush his teeth tonight. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to say it this way. Tomorrow I'm going to do it this way. And that little guy's going to brush his teeth because I'm going to make sure it happens. And then there's a point where we say, that dude don't brush his teeth no more. That dude ain't going to do his homework. I'm going to tell him and that's the point we've given up usable space. And we've said, I'm no longer responsible. See, now it's an audition. Now they got to stay in line. You see, I am what relationship is. I want you to understand that. I've never been in an unhealthy relationship. I like people when they say, this is an unhealthy relationship. What you mean? I mean the other person's unhealthy and I'm going to run. I'm going to blame the other person for being unhealthy. That's what they mean when they say it's an unhealthy relationship. I've never seen anyone say, this is an unhealthy relationship. I'm a terribly unhealthy person. No, you're saying this is an unhealthy, or this one. There's too much drama in this relationship. You're the drama. You see, I am what relationship is. If I am loving, the relationship is loving. If I am angry, the relationship is angry. If I am trusting, the relationship is trusting. If I am mistrusting, the relationship is mistrusting. I am what relationship is. If I am cheating, the relationship is cheating. If I am lying, the relationship is lying. If I am caring, the relationship is caring. If I am healthy, the relationship is healthy. It's like that. It really is like that. You might not believe me. You might say no, but it really is like that. See, because that's the opportunity for me to turn an unhealthy relationship into a healthy relationship by being the healthy one. By saying, hey, I am what this is. By putting it all out there and leaving it, see if I can make a difference. To say, I am ultimately, that is the level of responsibility of a human that I want to be in. That I no longer want to face pain and blame. That I want to say there's pain and this person makes me feel it. Absolutely. But I can take it. And I don't need to run and reduce usable space and find the people that only do what I want. And I don't need to break up with people after people after people and repeat patterns because of this. I can actually take responsibility for my own pain. I can actually say, you know, when I'm upset, that's because I'm insecure. That's me. And I got to learn how to be in this relationship and not be upset. I got to learn now, whether you want to leave that relationship or not. There's times for that, of course. Not saying there isn't. But I'm saying, what do you do? What is your usable space to grow? Where's your mirror? Where's your barometer of your growth? How do you tell? And I'll tell you how you tell. Reality, how you tell. Because with the difficult relationships, you learn to get less upset. That's your growth. You stay in difficult relationships and you get less angry and less upset. And then you go, oh, that used to really piss me off when that person did that. But now I've learned not to be so upset. And there's your growth. But if you think you're growing in some other way, please tonight tell me how. Please show me what growth. Well, I've grown because I leave people that are difficult. That's not prove that you've grown. See, we grow because we have this body of here called a pain body. We have this pain inside of us. It's inside all of us. And when we get upset, that's because our pain has been hit. And when we begin to take responsibility for when we're upset, we begin to reduce our pain. And you grow by reducing the pain from the past that's inside of us. You grow by dealing with it, by sitting there with it. You grow by not blaming. You grow by taking responsibility for it. So when I'm getting yelled at by a kid in the program and told that I'm a piece of shit or told that I don't do it right or I don't help right, he's hitting my pain. He don't need to change. It's all good. I need to understand how to accept that, how to take that. See, I've become, over time, I told you guys, I wanted to see why I was that puddle. I wanted to see why I ended up there. And the reason I ended up there was the very little ability I had to handle pain. In fact, I couldn't handle what I called pain was actually boredom. I couldn't handle boredom. I was bored, so I went out and destroyed my life. That's what I figured out. I was bored and I learned how to walk a higher path with drugs, and it felt really good. And if you haven't done drugs, you should try them maybe because they feel really good. Haven't smoked crack? Try it. Feels really good. No, you do. And you walk a higher path once you do that. Not seriously. But you walk a higher path. And once you walk the higher path, it's hard not to walk that higher path. Once you've had something take away all your pain, you don't want no pain no more. And so the answer here is I'm going to have to find my pain and I'm going to have to deal with it. And the usable space that I do that with is relationship. And I am what that is. And that relationships that I am transforms me through those relationships. So all the people that I've helped, I didn't help you. You showed me who I am. You gave me a space to show who I am through self-expression. That's what you did. That doesn't mean I help you. That means that I express myself in this relationship. That means that I take this pain and I show the world who I am. And who I am is easy to be when there's no pain. It is easy to be awesome and nice and responsible and not blaming when there's no pain inside me. But when there's pain inside me, my mind goes right to blame. My mind goes right to being an asshole. My mind goes right to contempt. My mind goes right to criticism. And I've had to re-engineer myself a little bit and sit with that pain and not go to contempt and criticism and stonewalling and silent treatments. And I've had to learn how to do that stuff. And that's the growth. And that growth comes through the opportunity to share this space with another person. And to say, I'm going to stay in this space no matter what, man. I'm not leaving. It's me and you. There's stuff in this space. We're going to stay. I think of families like if they would just have that campfire burning and just get around it and don't let anyone leave. Don't let someone get up and go stomp out. Stay, keep talking, fight, yell, punch each other, do what you got to do, but don't leave. And if you don't leave and you stay long enough, you'll get through it and you'll get to the other side. Because just on the other side of that pain is self-expression, is who we are. Just on the other side of that thing where you just want to go, I'm done, I want to get out, I quit. That right on the other side of that is where you show who you are. But people don't give themselves that chance because you say, I'm done with this person, I quit, because you've experienced that pain. But right on the other side is self-expression. Right on the other side is your opportunity to grow. And I've stayed in these relationships long enough to know that that's where it is. And then I've now discovered that it's not connection. What does connection even mean? Are you telling me that with somebody you feel like the internet, like you've connected? Or is it more like this person is with you and there's a daily opportunity to show who you are? There's a daily opportunity to do something kind. There's a daily opportunity to like handle your anger and respond in a better way. There's a daily opportunity to like get ahead of them and surprise them with something. There's a daily opportunity to do these things. Or are we missing these opportunities and reducing usable space and saying, I don't want these opportunities? See, with these difficult relationships, there it is. And I've had them and I've been in them and I love them. And I love hanging with someone who's just destroying their life. I love hanging with someone like that. I love standing by the fire of a human being that's burning up and say, I'll be right here, man. I ain't your doormat, by the way. I ain't giving you money, by the way. That don't mean I have boundaries. That means I have sense. You see, when I see a drug addict using drugs, I don't take boundaries to not give him money. It takes sense. It takes simply, listen, you dude, you're going to take that dough and go buy drugs. And no, that don't mean I'm mad at you, bro. It just means I got sense. Don't mean you got to believe my life. It just means you can't have my money. And no, I don't want to watch you get high in my bedroom either because you might die in there. So you got to go. Other than that, you can't hurt me. Other than that, man, it's your life and you're doing it to you. And I can stand by you. And it ain't personal to me. It's all good, bro. And so we learn through this thing. This is it. What is a relationship? See, I am what relationship is. No one says that shit. I didn't get taught this. I didn't get taught nothing when I was a kid about relationship. I didn't get taught how to be in one. I didn't get taught what one was. I didn't get taught how to conduct myself. All I got taught was how to complain about other people. That's what I got taught. I got taught how to be righteous. I got taught how to say, I'm better than people. I got taught how to watch other people's behavior and judge them. I got taught that from my parents. I got taught that from my sisters. I got taught that from older people. But no one ever said, hey, Art, don't ever leave relationships. Grow one by one from the time you're in elementary school. You'll have a network that's huge and you'll be able to express yourself with people all over the country. You'll be able to be big. You'll be able to stay in relationships with people, forgive them, practice forgiveness. They can forgive you. There's all this awesome stuff that can happen when you express yourself through this space, when you take responsibility for it, when you don't just point at it and go. You see, every time I hear people talking about their relationships, what I hear every time is an innocent bystander talking about a perpetrator. It's like this. Hey, all right, I don't do nothing. They just treat me like this. Oh man, I never get to see the side of the person that causes this. Always innocent bystanders, always people with their hands up saying, I'm not responsible. I'm not causing the matter of this relationship. Oh, this is what they do to me and this is what I do to them. And my boss does this to me and my boss treats me like this. Yeah, what do? You never mention what you do at work. I ain't never seen anyone go, well, I'm not moving up to work because I take too long to smoke breaks and I called in sick 3 times. I ain't never hear that shit. I ain't never hear nobody say none of that shit. Just innocent bystanders being oppressed at work. Innocent bystanders being impressed by their wife. Innocent bystanders being impressed by their kids. Innocent bystanders being drug addicts. Innocent bystanders being beaten by their parents and oppressed. Jesus. You, I see him. I still am looking for that victim they're talking about. I've been doing treatment for 14 years. I'm still looking for the baby bird that I hear about on TV. The baby bird drug addict that comes to me that didn't get connected with, that's been traumatized. I'm still waiting for that person. They ain't here yet. I see badass leaders that are tough, that have been hurting people and doing some destruction and running game and running over folks and running and selling drugs and stealing and committing crimes. That's who people I mess with. I ain't seen that baby bird they're talking about. And then they tell me, oh man, this guy's been traumatized. And oh, really? He just told me I was a piece of shit and punched me in my face. I left my wallet out and that shit's gone. That don't mean that we ain't experienced shit. That don't mean that we haven't had trauma. It just means it ain't what they say it is. And it might not be your fault while you're sitting in the back of this room. But it's definitely your responsibility to get you out of this room And ain't no one gonna do that shit for you. No one cares. And the way you're gonna get out of this room is through expressing yourself in relationships and growth from your pain. And you're gonna start seeing these difficult relationships as shit not to go drink over, not to go, you see, parents and family members of addicts, we have this thing that we all understand. We have a person here that came back today, and he's suffering from what we call emotional fragility. So we all know what that means as family members, that emotional fragility. We all don't want to say and do the wrong things because it might send them out. It might go back out. And so we're all worried about how they're going to handle their emotions and how they're going to handle their pain. And we're wondering if we say something, will they go get high and ruin their own life? And so now, if that's what you want to come here and have emotional fragility, put everybody on edge and let them know that if they say anything wrong to you, you're going to get emotional and go burn down your own house. Well, you can hold people hostage by doing that if you want, I guess. It ain't the way out. So right now, if you have family members that are worried about you going out, if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, well, you're probably going to go out again because you're not on the right path. Because the right path is responsibility. The right path is having people talk to you in a certain way and say, I can handle it now. The right path is to be able to handle your pain. So that's what I learned. I learned about relationships. I learned that I am what they are, and nobody is what I am. I learned if I wanted to have a better wife, I got to be a better husband. If I want to have a better employer, I got to be a better worker. If I want to have a better worker, I got to be a better boss. If I want to have a better client, I got to be better at providing treatment. If I want to have a better son, I got to be a better father. If I want to have a better neighbor, I got to be a better neighbor. If I want to have a better roommate, I got to be a better roommate. I've learned that's the only way out of relationship. Some people think that the way to have a better relationship is to complain about the other party. And they believe in it wholeheartedly. They have to, because they spend their days doing it. Some people believe that if you want a better boss, you just complain every day to people that don't even work at your work. And somehow you're going to go back mysteriously and you're going to have a better boss one day. Gotta listen to people come home and go, I don't even work there. Why are you telling me about it? Well, I've already told everybody in the smoking square. Well, how long was that break for? 18 minutes. Supposed to be 15. That's why you didn't get the raise. See? And there it is. But whoever's back there telling you that you've been victimized and traumatized, and you should do what with that? What should you do with that? Get the therapist? Yeah,
Get
maybe.
some harm reduction.
Yeah. Keep on drugs? Well, it's a tough world, man. But when you get there, when you say I am what that is, this relationship sucks because I suck. There you go. You know that? Real harsh. Have some people come to me and they go, nobody ever listens to my ideas. I always tell people there's two reasons why people won't listen to your ideas. Number one, it's because your idea sucks. Second reason people won't listen to your ideas because you suck. There's only two reasons. See, either you suck or your idea sucks. But if it's a good idea, somebody else could probably put it out in the world and everyone will follow it. So you got to ask yourself why no one's listening to your ideas. Well, maybe the idea just sucks. That could be true too. You know? But give it to somebody that doesn't suck. Let them put it out in the world and see how they do with it. See? But ultimately, I am what that is. If I have a happy life, if I have a great marriage because I am a great marriage. That's it. Has nothing to do with her. It don't have nothing to do with her. Can you imagine it having something to do with her and have the world work that way? Then I just go sit with my friends and go, I have a bad marriage because my wife does this and my wife does that and my wife does that. Grow up, man. Grow up. I am what that is. Ultimately, that is responsibility. That doesn't have nothing to do with bills. I pay my bills, by the way. I like to pay them early. But that don't mean responsibility means no blame. That's what it means. No complaints. That's what it means. But when you're complaining, you ain't responsible. You're saying it ain't your fault. You're saying somebody should have behaved differently. So you ain't responsible. Complaint negates responsibility. Complaint negates commitment. Somebody complain about their job, that means you ain't committed to your job. That's you complaining about your job so you can tell your friends the reason why you're going to quit. You complain about your marriage because you're building the case over here. You're telling your friends it's going to end and it's not my fault. Pretty soon this is going to end, and I want you to know it's not my fault, and I've given you all the reasons why they don't behave right, and I'm going to end the marriage. Good. You lost your marriage. Not your fault. Congratulations. But it is over. Oh, you see, I need a space to express myself, and it happens to be in a relationship. And by the way, if tonight there's anyone in this room and I feel there's something in space between me and you, something that when I go home tonight, I'm going to think about, I'm probably going to call you later tonight. I'm probably going to address it because that's what I do. I keep current on the space because my relationship between you, for us, is the space between us. And if there's resentment in there, if there's anger in there, if there's forgiveness that needs to happen, if there's bad behavior that we need to talk about, if I hurt you, if you hurt me, then that's in the space. And we need to clear that up so that we can be free to watch a good movie tonight. We need to clear that up so we can go eat in peace. We need to clear that up so we can sit by the fire. Because I can't let this mind get occupied about what's in the space, because it starts building up in all my relationships. And then I want to hide from the space and I don't want to express myself anymore. And I want to go get in my room and watch Netflix and have no one talk to me. And then eventually I want to use drugs and alcohol because I don't want to deal with all the shit that I've kind of created, the mess. So I have to keep current, means I got to apologize when I need to apologize. I need to ask someone to apologize to me. If I feel they need to apologize to me, I need to speak for myself. I need to say truth. I've got to work in these relationships so I can show you who I am. And by the way, I want everyone in here to like me. By the way, your opinion of me is all of my business. You know, when people say other people's opinion of me is none of my business? No, man, it ain't like that for me. I care what you all think of me, down to the person I just met today. I do my life to be in a relationship with you and express myself, and I want you to think of me as good. And if you don't, then let's talk about it. Give me a chance. You see, I don't think, I know for sure I care what people think about me. That's how I live my life. I care what people think about me. I want them to think of me well. I want them to say good things. And if people don't think of me good and they're not saying good things, I'm not that much of a prick where I just discount it. I want to kind of look and go, oh shit, maybe I should change. Maybe there is something there. Maybe a good person doesn't like me. That's crazy. Maybe I need to see what's up. You see, if you're a chef and you just put a meal out, you want everyone to like it as a chef. And if you just said only one guy likes it and everyone said it sucks and you said, I don't care what people think, then you'd be a terrible chef. If you're a comedian, you want everyone to laugh at your jokes. Well, if you're a human, you should want to connect with everyone. You should want them all to like you. I don't know why we excuse ourselves from that. And I know people say it because you can get kind of crazy, worried about what people think. I get that. But maybe we should. Maybe we should. You know? If you go up to somebody and you go, did you hear what so-and-so said about you? Have you ever heard a person not ask what? What? What'd they say? Oh, no, man, I can't tell you. No, man, I'll tell you later. No, you tell me now. We ain't leaving until you tell me. That's how it goes. And then that same person will leave. I don't care what people think about me. You care what your enemies think about you. Don't lie. Our number one topic in this world is us. We love thinking about us. I love thinking about me. I'm a great topic. And go home. Oh, all right, quit thinking about you. Start thinking about what everybody else thinks about you. We do. We're obsessed. What else could we be? There it is. There's a way out. I have a difficult relationship. It's a little different. You see, Nico was talking to me about a relationship earlier, and I said, listen, but now I can tell you, Nico, that relationship is an opportunity for you to express yourself fully. It's an opportunity to show who you are as a human being. It ain't transactional. It ain't fair. Relationships shouldn't be fair. Who wants a fair relationship? I don't want a fair relationship. I want to give way more than I get. That's who I want to be known for. I don't want it to be fair. Right now, me and my wife have a very unfair relationship. She gives way more than I do. She does. She gives everything to our newborn baby. There's an opportunity there somewhere for me to express myself, but she's expressing herself as a mother. And it's not fair, and she's not worried about fairness. She doesn't want fair. She wants to be the best mother possible, and I'm in the way. You see, if I come home and say, you're out, I'm going to hold the baby all night, she's pissed. If I tell her just sleep all night, I'm going to stay up with the baby all night, she don't get to express herself. There is no fairness in relationships. It's not transactional. You shouldn't want that. You should want to give way. It's not fair. Oh, Art, do you think you get taken advantage of? I hope so. I hope so. I hope people, when they leave, feel that they got way more than they ever gave. And I hope when I'm 80 years old, they come and they say, this is Art. He gave way more than I ever gave him. And these are my grandkids, Art, and I'd like you to meet them. That ain't fair. I don't want fair. I don't want to have you give. No, I want to help people. In order to help people, by nature, I'm going to have to give a little more than I'm getting. No, I need it fair when I help you. What have you done for me? I don't know, Art. I smoked crack all night last night. Well, mow the lawn. Shit ain't fair. Nah, to be big and responsible, nothing can be fair. You see, if you called Microsoft, for instance, you called Microsoft and you said, hey, I got this Xbox and it ain't working too good. And Microsoft goes, it's been a very difficult day up here at Microsoft. It's just been really difficult. We've had some hard times lately. You would look at Microsoft and think they've gone insane. You expect, because Microsoft's bigger than you expect to call them and you expect an Xbox in the mail the next day, no excuses. That's what you expect from Microsoft. And it would be crazy if they told you about their problems. Right? You go, what the hell are you telling me about? I remember me and Angie were sitting waiting for a plane and it was snow and we traipsed over to the airport in the snow and we got over there early. And we're waiting to leave, and we got over there early because there was snow. And there was 4 flight attendants that showed up an hour after us, and the plane's delayed, and we were having to listen to them talk about their problems. Delta Airlines flight attendants inconveniencing all of us passengers. And then we had to, and I said, excuse me, why are we having to listen to your goddamn problems? You don't think we all got, that's not how it should work, you see? But that's how I feel about relationship. Nobody wants to hear about my problems. And I don't want anyone to hear about my problems. I want to help you take care of yours. So when my son says, Dad, I'd like a bike. And I go, son, the drug treatment business has been very hard lately. Maybe we can go down to the secondhand store and find you some. He's going to look up at me and go, Dad, I thought you were bigger than me. And I hope to be. but I don't hope to tell him my problems. So my point is, the responsible party in the relationship is big, is responsible for what's in that space all the time, is responsible for saying, hey, I'm going to be big here, responsible for the forgiveness. The bigger party in the relationship, the person who is the person that's responsible for forgiveness. The person that don't forgive is the little party, the little person, the little victim, the boundaries, the hurt, the protective. They don't forgive. Bigness forgives. You want to be big or little? Bigness opens up and says, do what you do. I get it. It ain't about me. It's about you. That's big. So that's the opportunity that these spaces are. So people do things to me, I forgive. They do more things to me, I forgive. Do more things to me, I forgive. That's it. Why? Because that's opportunities for me to show who I am. Not to tell you my problems, not to tell you why I'm petty, not to tell you why we're equal. We're not equal. If we're equal, it's transactional. If we're equal, it's fair. I don't want to be that. I want to be bigger at handling my pain than you. Maybe it's me. But if I'm bigger than handling my pain, then I'm getting better. You see, I'm growing. All right. Now this may be, you see, what's going on when you're sitting there and we're in a relationship with a girl and there's emotions like jealousy and worry and concern, right? And you're sitting there with those types, that's the opportunity for you to grow. You don't need to stop thinking. You need to feel what that feels like. What does jealousy feel like? You see, we don't want it. So he's sitting there, let's say you're sitting there, you're experiencing jealousy. Well, what would be the way to handle that? Well, the way to handle that would be to experience jealousy. But we don't want to experience jealousy. We want to take it away. We want to call them. We want to, you see, we want that jealousy to go away. So now we need the other person. So now you're on, oh, where are they at? Where's my global tracker? But then you go, well, hey, what happens if she cheats? Will you get hurt? Well, what does that feel like? Yeah, so then you feel that. You see, the fear of feeling starts going away when you turn towards pain. You don't need to fear feeling. You need to feel. So now you're given this relationship, your recovery has gotten to this point, and now your recovery has faced you with a way to grow. And you have this space that you can work in, and you see jealousy show up, and now you take responsibility for it, and you bring it right back over here. What? Because you don't manage it and you don't do things you think that's going to cause the cheat? No, right? Actually, what you're managing and you're doing is going to cause the cheat, right? So now you learn, well, there's something you need to learn to feel. So now you be there with it. Now you go, okay, she's going to go out. Here's that night again. I'm going to feel tonight. Okay, feel that shit. There you go. Then, oh, I don't want to feel it. I want to get it taken away. Well, why? You going to stop her from cheating? No. See? No, you're not. Okay, well, what is it going to feel like when then you're just with yourself? What's it going to feel like if she cheats? Well, that's going to hurt. All right, well, then I'll feel that. Well, what's next? Then I'll feel that. Then I'll feel that. And then I'll feel that. Well, see, you're not even feeling. You're afraid of feeling. See? Then you get to the point, some of us go, God, geez, I hope she cheats. I'm so tired of this girl. Okay. Please, will she just end it? I've been in those. Hope she cheats tonight. Shit. I'll have a good excuse to break up with her. Yeah. Hey. Been there.
My issue right now is that it's not rational. Like there is literally no logical concern,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what to do.
Well, around here,
Or can you,
What? Are you looking
are you saying fit with the pain? Is it fit with the pain? Can you help me understand, like,
Listen, worry, anger, frustration, anxiety. Aren't they all levels of the same thing?
yeah,
I mean, aren't they just different levels of resistance inside of our body?
yeah.
It's just all resistance. There's just resistance. Uh, 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 uh. And it's all learning to be with resistance. And just to be with the resistance just says, there's that resistance. It's that easy. It's like, there's the resistance. I feel it. Okay, well, we turn the way that you learn to manufacture pain, the way that you learn to deal with pain is you turn resistance into acceptance. That's it. It's resistance to acceptance, resistance to acceptance. And you operate your life from acceptance. Now, that doesn't mean that the thing that's going on, you let happen. It doesn't mean that you're a doormat. It means that if you're going to make a difference in this area, for instance, if he's going to make a difference, he's going to be in resistance, and that resistance is going to cause him to do dumb shit. Correct? And when he sits with that resistance and get to acceptance, wisdom will return. And when wisdom returns, that's when it gets rational. The reason it's irrational is his body is in fight or flight. His body is in some type of disarray. And he doesn't like the way his mind doesn't like the way his body feels, but he didn't notice that it was in the body first. All this stuff starts in the body. Frustration, anger, all of it starts in the body. So then it gets to the mind, and the mind blames. So the practice of this, the theoretical practice or the practical practice, is to say, I'm going to re-engineer my mind. Like I said, I'm going to have my mind's focus. When there's that resistance, I am going to focus on the resistance. I'll tell you what, my son is going to be sitting there, and he's going to get 2 years old. And he's going to get in resistance, and he's going to go like that. And I'm going to sit down right then with him at 2 and say, now, name the resistance. Tell me what it felt like in your body. Name it. And I'm going to make him, and he's going to blame that resistance on some outer thing, whatever it is. And I'm not going to let him. And I'm going to say, no, just focus on, tell me about the resistance. Tell me about your muscles. Tell me about your blood pressure. Tell me about how your mind got all crazy, and feel it. And I'm going to force him every day to feel pain. There was a gentleman named Noah Levine, and Noah Levine started Refuge Recovery. And Refuge Recovery is down in LA, and it's big. It's big in LA. And it's a Buddhist-based recovery program. And he was asked, what is the #1 way to not raise a drug addict? And his response was, normalize pain. See, we hate our pain. We want it to go away. And to get some young kid, to teach kids to sit there with it, to sit there with their frustration, with their angst, all levels of the same thing. Now, jealousy, and that's a little different, right? But it's still the same thing. He's still got to sit there with himself. And his mind is going to tell him not to sit there with himself. His mind's going to try to take it away. Our mind is always trying to find the cause so that it can fix our bodies. That's what it's doing. It's trying to find the cause, neutralize the cause so that it fixes our bodies. But if you don't need your body fixed, then you don't need to find the cause. You see? If I don't need my body fixed, then I just be with my body. And I learn to have compassion for that, feelings and say, oh, there's pain. It's okay. And I learned to have compassion for my heart rate. I learned to be with it. I learned that almost every time I say dumb shit to people, my heart went like this before I said it. 100%. 100% of the dumb shit I've ever said came after my heart went like this. So what do? I wait for my heart to stop going like this before I talk. And I be there with my heart rate. Oh, there it is. Not all the time. I fail miserably a lot of the time. But the practice of it is essential. And even when I am mean to her, there's a little right? There's just a little, I'm not angry with her. I don't get angry. But I get sarcastic sometimes, or I get just, and it happens so quick, and then I gotta go, oh shit, there, right? And I still gotta apologize, but it all came from a little body fluctuation. I don't like to be delegated to. I'm the worst. So it just happens. I don't like to, natural responsibility. She'll go, hey, can you take out the garbage? And my body goes, it's like, no. Now, if she didn't tell me to take the garbage out and the garbage is overflowing and I go do it, I feel like a hero. I'm like, look at me taking out the garbage. I'm so happy to do it. Look at me taking out the garbage. But if she says take out the garbage, that's all I get. Who she thinks she is telling me to take out the garbage? And it's just a little fear inside me. It's all about looking good. You see? It really is. There's even when it gets deeper. This real body fluctuation, his jealousy, it's all about looking good. It's not even a fear of if she cheats. It's about what it looks like if he gets cheated on. Who is he in this world? So really, he's dealing with this ego that's sitting there saying, well, she cheats on you. You're just nothing. And she probably does that because nobody respects you. And it's not even real. See, we're not scared to be broke. We're scared that everyone knows we're broke. We're not scared to get the disease. We're scared, whatever we think if I got. I always worry about, oh man, what if I have that? Well, everybody will know I'll have that. Well, I just won't tell them I'll have that. Oh, well, then it'll be better. But you have that. Everyone running around broke. I just don't want anyone to know I'm broke. I'm okay being broke. People would rather everyone thought they had money than actually have money. We're just this fear thing, and that's the body. So the body's responding to all this mind fear. Oh man, what does it look like for me if I get cheated on? Well, you look like a punk. Oh, but not really. Not really. Guys look great that get cheated. Guys, I know a lot of guys that get cheated on. It's like, oh, it's a good dude. He got cheated on. What a snake she was. Same with women. Same thing. The cheater's never scared, though. They're all doing it. You don't see the cheater like driving wasn't going to be if I get caught. They just get caught. It's always it's never what's happening. The fear is never what's happening. It's always what happens next. You see, it's not that she's telling me to take out the garbage. I'm not scared of that. It's pretty soon I'm just a butler. Pretty soon I'm her son. Like she's my mom. Oh my God, I can't let this continue. Soon I'll have to have a chore list when I wake up. This can't continue. And that goes through a whole thing right away. She's telling me that. It's not the guy taking the pencil off your desk. That's not the fear. The guy just took a pencil off your desk. This guy's going to be with my wife someday. I'll let him take the pencil. Then he's going to take my books. Oh, he's going to have my wife. I'm going to be homeless. That's how it is. It's never what's happening. You see, Nico, he's sitting there. I hope she doesn't go out this weekend. Now I hope she doesn't cheat. Well, then she. You are what relationship is. See, Nico, I am faithful, therefore the relationship is a faithful one. We create it. And then what happens? Oh, well, she cheated. Well, I was faithful, so it was a faithful relationship. Well, there you go. All right. I might be crazy. There's a chance I've lost it. I did a lot of drugs. Remember I told you 17 years? Shit, who knows? A lot of the guys in the back room I did the drugs with. Now we're all sober. no fun anymore. More questions, comments, anybody? It's a big leap from how we've been relating. For me, it was a big leap. I always thought everyone was auditioning. You know, we go out to dinner with a couple, we'll let them audition. Oh, they like Trump. Oh, they don't like Trump. We're done with them. Go out for the audition. You guys aren't liberals, right? No? No? You guys- You're not Republicans, are you? No, we're done. You just ask the question, see if it can go any further. What do you guys think about Bob Fergus? And then they go, what do you think about him? This might end the relationship. I don't know what to say. What kind of car did you drive here? Subaru. Got a Chevy pickup. Okay, I love Trump. That's how it is nowadays. You know, we're all looking to end it. Looking for something that hits my insecurity. I don't want to argue with these people. They're crazy. 50% of the country's gone crazy, no matter what side you're on. That can't be true. Something's up. Nobody's suspicious. Everyone's on the other side. The other side of the country is just all went crazy. It's like, really? You think that? Or maybe it's a point of view thing. Maybe 50% of the people have just a different point of view and they're not crazy. And maybe they grew up differently than you. And maybe we all have different viewpoints and it's not crazy at all. And if you really start looking and you go, well, why do you like this person? You'll see their viewpoint and why they like them. And you'll realize it's not insanity. But you got to get just up to the other side of your own insecurity. You got to get just to the other side of you being pissed off. Just to the other side of you saying the audition is over. I hate these people. And a lot of us don't want to go to that other side because it's a very insecure, unsafe feeling. You know, I look at both sides. I block the ones that post about Trump and I block the ones that post about the other side. You're both nuts. If you think any of these people care about us, you're both nuts. I bet Trump's up there right now going, we need to get these middle-class people some more money. I don't think so. We'll trade in that plane you got. 400 billion? That could have fed someone. Anyways, come on, people. Are you just stunned or what? What do you mean?
Anybody at home too, if any questions out there, we got 10 minutes. Questions, comments. All of it's welcome.
It was an evolution. It is an evolution. You know, what is your marriage for? If it ain't to express yourself as a husband or wife. What is your, huh?
I just have a comment and a question, I guess.
Yeah.
Relationships are complex, right? So when, I guess the question is there a time to be ready, right? To have a conversation? And who starts it?
Yeah. Well, who's responsible for the relationship?
Well, I would be, right?
Okay.
I would be,
Look at, you got to remember, okay, there's a relationship. There is space between you and a person, okay? One of the things that's going to happen is the responsible party is going to, in faith, going to take a step into that space and say, come join me here, okay?
Mhm.
Now, what you have to be prepared for is that it's not going to go the way you want it to go. So as you're entering that space and you know it's not going to probably go the way, what it's requiring of you is growth. Something, and if you can look at it that way, something in this space is requiring you to be different than you currently are. It's requiring you to evolve, handle, be with, sit with, endure. It's requiring that of you. So when you take it that way to say, hey, all that's happening is this is me showing who I am. There's no more fear there. And you're not in it for the results that you think you are. See, most people think they're going to go fix the other person. So then this conversation is about how you need to be fixed or you need to be different than you currently are. I mean, that might be true. There could be bad behavior. But when you prioritize it as I'm going in here, if I say I'm not going into a relationship with Trayvon because I want him to be a different human being. I'm going into the relationship with him to see if I can sit with the human being he currently is. Okay? And I might, in my head, not like some of the things I'm hearing, and they might cause fluctuations in my body. And I might have to like, and the reason, because maybe he says things that to me don't make sense. Maybe he says things that scare me, like, all right, I really don't care about that or whatever. But if my purpose is to go into this relationship and be with my own pain, then what's the problem? Then what's the fear of going into that space?
Well, there is not a problem with, because I feel like for me, I'm a stepmom and I feel
No, I'm
like
not talking about you and Trayvon. I'm talking about this other relationship that you're talking about.
I'm talking about in general relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm ready to have the conversation for me, right? And it could be for Trayvon, it could be even with Erica,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be even with my husband, right? You do have to sit with the pain, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know, I guess, you just have to sit with the pain.
Well, no.
So,
You see,
Yeah.
no.
You got me, so.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead,
well,
yeah,
I think that you have to get past a block here.
yeah.
And I think the block in your head would be not a blockhead, but no,
Not a block.
the blockhead. No, but the thought process might be, and you might want to take a look,
Yeah.
that there needs to be some improvement on the other person's behalf. Okay.
Okay, so you
And
saying,
that this communication that you do is going to lend to the fact that there needs to be an improvement on the other person's behalf. And you're wanting to have this conversation about the improvement of the other person, correct?
but then wouldn't that take the responsibility away from me?
No, but just leave it where I'm at.
Yeah.
And you got to come to coaching tomorrow. Do you want to take, are you going into this conversation hoping something gets done? It moves the dial of the other person's behavior.
Well, isn't that the reason why I'm having the conversation?
That's the point.
Okay.
Okay,
so-
the point is you're not ready for that. If you were ready for that, you would have already been able to have that conversation. But you're not ready for that. You know inside right now that you're going to go have that conversation and ain't going to move the dial. Correct? You're fearful that you're going to have that conversation and it ain't going to move the dial.
Okay, so I need to sit and process that.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming I'm having the conversation for myself,
No.
right? And to build the relationship,
Okay.
so I maybe.
Well, we'll have to get into the particulars, but I'm trying to tell you right now, if you think, see, we have this thing in our relationships where we might not be the power level that we need to be. And there's a lot of work to get to the steps that we could be that power level that we need to be. And so when we go into these when I say there's something in the space,
Yeah.
It's probably big, but it's bigger than you. And it's probably you feel powerless to fixing what's in that space. Correct?
Right, but
So-
isn't that for me though?
Okay, but when we feel powerless for fixing what's in that space, we're already in a position where we need more power before we go in to fix that space. So now we need to start talking about power before we start talking about having the conversation and how you are powerless. So a lot of parents go to their kids or they go to people and they want improvement, but they have that sense, Art, they won't do what I say. I can't, I'm struggling from powerlessness. Okay? So that means when I'm struggling from this powerlessness, I have to move back here and wait and observe myself and see why I'm struggling from that powerlessness first. Before I try to just go in here, it's about rapport, it's about integrity, it's about all these other things first. We'll get into some tomorrow night. But there's an acknowledgement when we're in a relationship with someone and when we feel defeated, when we feel as though our words won't matter. All right, I'm going to say these things, but they ain't going to listen. Well, you're already defeated. It's true. We're not there yet. There's some growth that needs to come before that, right? You see? You see my son, he's 2 years old, and he goes, and he's in his room, and he's throwing a fit, right? I'm not going to sit out in the thing and go, should I talk to him? Oh man, I hope what is he gonna say? He's gonna call me a piece of shit if I fucking go talk to him, and like, oh man, maybe I'll just leave him alone. But our kids get to be about 16, and then they get in the room and start doing that, and we could be parents sitting out in the other room fearful of what our kids are gonna say to us, or we can be fearful of what the repercussions to us addressing that would be, because the kid builds up some defenses and some, and he's got some ammo. And all of a sudden, now we're going to an 18-year-old kid, and there ain't no kid no more that we can just tell clean your room. Because you go in to talk to him in the flip. And you just, you beat me, you're a parent, oh, well, shit. Yeah, I was drunk. No, whatever, right? But that's the experience. So now we have to work over here to get the power to be able to go address that. And that comes with backtracking a little bit. That comes with acknowledging my own mistakes first. So that comes with the Eminem style, right? Remember what Eminem did? He told all his faults before the guy could say his faults. So a lot of the times when we go in, we've got to have our faults and have acknowledged our faults, and we've got to be restored our integrity, and we've got to be able to get our power back and say, yeah, I did all that shit. I've done that shit. But if we're not ready, if we're going to get defensive and no, you see, we'll get into tomorrow. But now we're talking real shit. Now we're talking about being in relationships, wanting to be responsible for the space, but feeling powerless. Now that's where the growth starts. That's where real shit starts going down. Because I've been there. I've been in my own program. 35 kids in my program, having a kid stomp around, throwing the shit in his room, and me feeling powerless out there going, man, I don't want to go deal with this kid. I've been there too. I've been there with people. Yeah, I'm going to say this, and then they're going to say this about me and shit. So yeah, now we're talking about the real shit. That's why this space is so important. The self-expression is important because everything's right there in the space. Everything's there if you own it. Everything. Nothing's there if you start reducing usable space because it's got so big. You see? But a parent experiencing powerlessness with their own kid, that's badass. Because that means that parent is going to now have to really take a look and examine, how did I get here? How have I lost the right to govern? When did I give that up? Well, shit. All right. Thank you all.
If you're already registered for group coaching, I will be sending you a message with the correct address since we're switching it to our house. And then if you're not
signed up, get signed up. Shit.
Just reach out to me. The link is on the text too. You can sign up.
And you don't have to be a parent. You could come for relationship coaching, just not the kids in the front.
Yeah, it's not for those in the yes.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you got right then. You're registered. I'll message you. Yeah, I'll send you out.